This episode of the Big Rab Show Podcast is dedicated to the memory of Drum Major adjudicator Gloria Aicken. I come out here tonight to record the show, switched on my screens, and I've seen the news that I'm sure a lot of you now have also seen. The announcement that this morning Gloria sadly passed away. Gloria was a competitive drum major from a very young age, a hobby of which she shared along with her older brother Alistair. She became juvenile world champion in 1993, as well as winning other numerous major championships along her competitive career. When I was starting out in pipe bands and was drumming with the Quinn Memorial pipe band in grade 2, Gloria and Alistair were drum majors of that band at that time. That was my first experience of competing drum majors, and it left an indelible impression on me, on the professionalism that drum majors carry themselves with. Gloria herself went on to become drum major of the Field Marshal Montgomery and also became an adjudicator in 2007, where she judged many minor championships as well as majors. All of us here in the Big Rab Show team have a personal connection with Gloria and Alistair both, and we want to send out our sincerest condolences to Brian, to Alistair, to all of the family at this very sad time. Looking online right now, you can see the outpouring of love from across the bagpiping world, and especially from the drum majoring scene. Gloria will be very sadly missed by all of us, a loss of which will be acutely felt across the bagpiping world right now. So, thank you for letting me take some time at the start of this week's pod to talk about the loss of a friend, and dedicate this week's episode to the late drum major Gloria Aicken.
The Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. How are yous, folks? Yeah, another week has rolled around in the bagpiping world, and we've got tons to talk about. Plus, of course, we have quite an amazing topic of the week where we are meeting another band. Yes, a band that you might not have heard of before, the McLassie Highlanders. Yeah, and we'll get into that. There's a really interesting story there, and a band that you should be paying attention to. Yeah, we'll get into that later in this week's topic of the week. But before all of that, let's get through our introductions, though, shall we? If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, well, you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland bagpipe and its people. And, yep, the old cliche rings true. Like every other podcast out there, we do have a Patreon, where for $5 a month, or I think it's even less now, if you click on support, you can be part of the Patreon faithful. Yeah, those folks who click on support get their mitts on loads of extras, but also help keep the wheel turning here at the Big Rab Show. Yeah, there's a link in your show notes right now where you can go and check it out. All of those juicy extras. And there will be some additional extras uploaded over the course of the next few weeks. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what those extras are, other than to say they're good. All right? That's all I'm going to say. Not saying anything else. Yes, those extras will be available over there on Patreon, exclusive to our Patreon faithful, so go and check that out. Shout out to Patreon! All right, Patreon has been plugged. Let's move on. Well, at the beginning of every Big Rab Show pod, we do open the door to listener mail, and this week is no different. Our email address has never changed from the outset. It's bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, a lot of the correspondence that we've been receiving in our listener mail is all pretty much logistical stuff, planning out future episodes. Yeah. this is quite a packed season, folks. Whenever you look across it, not just here domestically in the UK with, our minor competitions and our major championships as well. We have a full complement of majors this year, so we're going to do our best to cover every aspect of those. But we're also looking further afield. We're doing our best now to try and cover all of the action happening there in South Africa. We have a brand new team member to help us with all of that, Siobhan, who's a legend, by the way. But we're also reaching out across, to the United States, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. We're going to do our best to try and cover things internationally. And, we've been corresponding with a lot of people out in these different locations to try and figure out what we can do coverage-wise. Now, this has been particularly challenging. Yeah, and this is what I want to put out there on the show this week. If you are living internationally, listening to the show right now, then we want to hear from you. If you're going to be going to any competitions or anywhere where there's a band competition happening, well, we want to hear from you. If you can help us here on the Big Rab Show team bring international piping to a global audience, then please do let us know. Yeah, we're very keen to hear from anyone who has a bit of spare capacity, who can carry a mobile phone in their sparn and then possibly whip it out and film a pipe band for 5 minutes and then send us the clip. Yeah. So if you can help us, then we want to hear from you. bigrabshow@gmail.com. As I said, we've been in correspondence with a good number of people around the globe, but it's very difficult to kind of, line up the competitions with the people we have available. It's proven pretty tricky. So we're going to do our best. But that's one of our focuses this year. We really want to try and bring a global flavor to the Big Rab Show this year. Not just what's happening here in the UK. That's kind of our bread and butter. But we do want to reach out and try and get as much great coverage of international piping and drumming as possible. Do you know one of the scenes that I am really curious about and we have had no contact from? That's China. Do you remember we spoke about this news story a while ago where they ran their first solo piping competition? Well, it's gone very quiet since then, and there's been no further news about the piping scene in China. So, again, I'm just going to put the call out. If anyone listens to the show in China, please do get in touch with us. We absolutely want to know more about the scene there. And, if we can bring coverage from that would just be fantastic. Yeah. So there you go. I'm just putting out the call. That's been the bulk of our listener mail. There's been a number of bands and stuff that reach out and ask to be part of our matchmaking service. So that's brilliant to see as well. So those bands that have got in contact with us, your names have now been added to our lists and we are working through those. Yeah, we do have a number of players and bands that are looking for members. So we're doing our best to marry those up and get players on the grass. That's what we're at. We got an email here, actually, reaching out on behalf of the 190th Highlanders. Yeah, based in Buffalo and Niagara Falls, New York. Yeah, so, I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan, so go Bills! Woo! Yeah. So I just wanted to reach out and let you know that we're actively recruiting. Yeah, so the 190th are actively looking for members. Yeah, so last year they've managed to finish in the top 10 in Yuspaba in grade 5. And, they'll be competing in grade 5 again for the 2026 season. Their goal is to field both a grade 4 and a grade 5 competition band in 2027. So they're expanding. So they also hope to attend and challenge up into grade 4 where possible this season, if they can stretch it. Yeah. So if you are in the greater Buffalo or Niagara Falls area and you are interested in taking up the challenge, well, you can reach out to them through their socials, the 190th Highlanders. There you are. So they would love to attract players from Canada or in the US. Doesn't matter because they're right on that border area, I guess. So, if you're wanting to take up that challenge and either compete on grade 4 or grade 5 or 4B here in the UK, well, get in touch with the 190th Highlanders. There you are. Let's go, Buffalo. Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about what happened in the playoffs. Josh Allen was robbed. Anyway. I'm not going to start talking NFL, but do you know something? See the amount of piping fans that are also NFL fans. That's what I've found. There's a serious amount of piping fans who are also NFL fans. And I think it's maybe for the same reason I am. I'm a shameless Buffalo Bills fan, always have been since I was no age. Don't ask me how, it's a bit of a story. But I think I don't know, it lines up perfectly with the piping season here in the UK. Because as things wrap up with the piping season here in late September-ish, around that October time, that's when the NFL season kicks off. So, brilliant. It's just perfect. Piping season ends, football season starts. And then you can follow that all the way through until February. Then the Super Bowl happens. And then where are you? Well, you're in concert season then for bands, aren't you? Yeah, concert season. And then you're into the competition season. So it's perfect. So there you go. Sometimes being a Bills fan is a tough thing. Yeah, I don't know. We've been a butt of old jokes for a while, but not so much now. Anyway, let's move on. We're not talking NFL. We're talking pipe bands and piping, aren't we? Yeah, maybe I should change the Big Rab Show to the football podcast. I don't know. There's loads of those out there, though, isn't there? Anyway, right, let's get on. Right, that's it for listener mail. If you do want to send us in your own listener mail, of course, you can do bigrabshow@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts and feelings, of course, over there on listener mail. But also, another way you can do it is through Weekly Drone, which is a fantastic feature. Yeah, and now last week we didn't have any weekly drones. Yeah, so all must have been well in the world where we didn't have any drones at all. But yeah, it's an open microphone to the bagpiping world where you can let your thoughts and feelings, warts and all, be known without fear of recrimination. Yeah, it's completely anonymous. So it's, have at it, is what I say. Now, we've got a few weekly drones now. After last week with the tumbleweeds, this week we've got a few. So, JD, I think we'll open the gates with the first one. Go on ahead, mate. Let us have it.
The weekly drone.
Drummers. Drummers are a different breed, aren't they? The amount of times I've heard, "We don't like that tune." Really? Well, just write a good score to compliment it. Life must be so much easier when all you need to do is count to 4.
Ah, come on. What? All you need to do is count to 4? No. See that old cliche where drummers get it easier? Now, I can speak now from personal experience. I've been a drummer for a long time, and now I'm a piper, and I have seen both sides of the fence. And I can tell pipers this wholeheartedly. Being a drummer and counting to 4. Very rarely have I ever had to count to 4. Now, counting to 4, I think that's an old joke whenever it comes to rock drummers. Rock, pop, disco, any kind of music that involves a drum kit or something like that. Normally, all that music is in 4/4, and that's all you need to do is count to 4. But for snare drummers, tenor drummers, bass drummers, there's so much more than that. Obviously, I don't think I need to tell you. We have so many different time signatures. Plus, pipe band drumming in itself is its own musical genre. And if you were to go in there and simply start counting to 4, you wouldn't last very long. And I don't know. That's just my opinions, and it's been my experience. I've known a lot of drum kit drummers who try to lift the sticks in a pipe band, and I've found that transition from the rock and pop world to pipe band snare drumming and finding that adjustment really difficult. However, I have found the opposite, that those who start out in pipe band world and then make the jump across into drum kit and they find it completely natural, So I know so many talented, incredible percussionists and drum kit drummers that started life in pipe bands. So I don't know. I'm not going to start casting aspersions on kit players, but yeah, drum kit players on the majority, being able to count to 4 is an advantage, but not for us in pipe bands. It's not really a thing. But that is a very disparaging remark about drummers. Just make a better drum score. I don't know. Some tunes are incredibly difficult to write for. I'm going to say that. Might be brilliant from a piping perspective where you're really able to hold those dots and cut the cuts. But from a drumming perspective, and we're looking for drive, no, that's difficult to do when a piper is holding that. When the piper's sitting there holding that D all the way through to the low G. Come on. How long do you need to hold that note? Anyway, I'm waxing lyrical about the difficulties between pipers and drummers. They're two different worlds. And that's what makes this music world unique, when those two worlds have to meet and perform together. Yeah, it's a good dynamic, that, isn't it? Anyway, counting to 4. Cheapers, oh, JD. What a start. Give me another one, mate.
The Weekly Drone.
World-class competitions? I'm watching the Winter Olympics and thoroughly enjoying it. But am I the only one that can't help myself from thinking about how well-run these competitions are compared to pipe band competitions? Okay, is pipe band an Olympic sport? Maybe not. But the judging of pipe band is just as subjective as a large portion of Olympic events. Figure skating, freestyle skiing, half pipe, ice dance, etc. What can pipe band competition officials learn from the artistic aspects of the Olympics? The obvious seems like a larger panel of judges, where the highest and lowest scores are disregarded, and the average of the other judges are used to determine the final score. Or 2 runs through each set and only your highest one counts. Food for thought.
Food for thought indeed. Do you know what? I take your point. I've been watching the Olympics myself, and yeah, I have been simply amazed at the organization of it all. You think of the amount of athletes that have to compete, and each one of those has a certain time that they need to be ready and on the line for, so to speak. And then they need to actually do their thing, and it has to be adjudicated correctly with a score allocated to them. The whole thing's televised, so there's no room to hide if there's any mistakes made by any umpires or stewards or that. And then, everyone gets the results tallied at the end of the thing, and then they're awarded their, gold, silver, bronze. So the Olympics, from a logistical standpoint, absolutely has ran like absolute clockwork. There's been zero hiccups at all from an organizational standpoint, and that in itself is amazing. And that's been the case now for years. I think they're that well versed now at running the Olympic Games that it just does happen like that. And to be fair to the RSPBA here in the UK, whenever they run a major championship, it's very similar. Everyone has their time on the line, and if you're late, boom, you're disqualified. There's no messing. Yeah, so the stewards are pretty switched on whenever it comes to having a band on the line at the right time, and everyone gets their time in the circle, and then that's it. Your stuff gets tabulated. And then every now and again we do get a mistake read out in the park for the incorrect result. Now, whenever that happens, we do talk about it being a really unfortunate incident. And, the tabulation of results sometimes can be an area looking for development. But we're really hopeful for this season. 2026, we're hoping that will not happen. Yeah. So, yes, from a logistical standpoint, absolutely, I agree. The Olympics are a shining example of how something could run, and I do believe that our RSPBA are close to it. They're not all the way as slick as what the Olympics might be, but they're getting there. Yeah. Now, as for your suggestions on judging an artistic medium, I had the exact same thought. I was actually watching the figure skating, and I remember watching this fella, I can't even remember his name now, but the figure skating that he was doing and performing was really artistic, was really with the music, and he was like doing backflips and all sorts of crazy stuff and landing them perfectly. And then at the end of it, I heard the TV commentator going, his ankle was a bit shaky there. That'll dock him some points. What? Are you kidding me? Like, I was furious at the commentators going, what are you talking about? His ankle was wobbly. Are you kidding me? Did you not just watch the entire performance where that guy absolutely jumped and flipped and whoop all over the place, and then effortless? If I was to step out on the ice, I would just be a penguin with welly boots on. But this, I don't know. And then, as you said, you get your highest score is eliminated, your lowest score is eliminated, and then you get an average score of the ones in between. That was such a weird system. But I do take your thinking there. You know, the ability to perhaps have 2 runs through a certain set and, you get an average score or something like that. It's an interesting one, that. Definitely. You know, bagpiping in itself and pipe bands and what we do, it is competitive art. And we've said this on the show many times. You know, one person's art is another man's trash. And not every performance is going to move you. And the one that doesn't always move everybody else. And it's really difficult to kind of pin down as to who exactly was best on the day, because it is subjective. You know, it's not like you can point at a scoreboard and say they scored more goals than the other team. It's not like that. It's more like, well, I liked his backflip better than I liked the other guy's backflip. What? You serious? Aye, that boy there had a shaky ankle. And the other boy, we had a shaky elbow, but I'll let him away with that. What are you talking about? Makes no sense to me. I am not a figure skater, but I was glued watching it. I thought it was really fascinating, and I did draw parallels to that artistic world, to the artistic competitive world that we're in with bagpiping. Very interesting. And yeah, I do think there can be some parallels drawn with that world and what we're doing in the music world. It's an interesting one, that. Yeah. So thank you, Weekly Droner. You were thinking exactly the same thing I was thinking whilst watching the Olympics. There you go. Love to know your thoughts on that, folks. bigrabshow@gmail.com. All right. JD, we have time for one more. Go on ahead. Let us have one more.
It's the Weekly Drum. How to. Rab and team, have you ever thought about doing a podcast on how to make a podcast? Why is it that it seems that loads of podcasts start up, hit the ground running, only to fizzle out after just a few episodes? I hate to say it, but you guys have stood the test of time and are now part of the furniture of the piping world. It just wouldn't be the same without your show updating and entertaining us each week. Have you ever thought about pulling the plug? Well, I'm excited to see what this season holds and how you folks are going to continue going forward. It must take a massive effort if so many other podcasts have just given up or faded away. Episode 500 is fast approaching, Rab. What have you got up your sleeve?
Oh, no, that would be telling, Weekly Droner, wouldn't it? Yeah, making a podcast about making a podcast, I think that would put people to sleep. I honestly don't think it's terribly interesting enough to sustain a full topic of the week. But yeah, you're quite right in saying that. You know, I don't want to blow our own trumpet too much, folks, but this is what, episode 475? Like, that's crazy numbers. And we haven't missed a week at all, ever. So that's nuts, really. And yeah, whenever you talk about it being a mammoth effort, yeah, it is. Sometimes it can be a real struggle. I myself, I've made quite a number of sacrifices over the years. And at times, producing this show has been far from easy. And yeah, you know what? We do it because we love it, you know, and it isn't just me. And, you know, I keep saying that it's we, you know, it is absolutely a team effort. Everyone there on the Big Rab Show team absolutely has a role in helping keep our show on the road. And whenever I first started this, I was absolutely on my own, and it was incredibly difficult at the very beginning. And then I'm sure for those of you who were around in those early days, the podcast definitely sounded a lot different from what it is now. You know, we've invested a lot of time, effort, money, and personal sacrifice, and like just making it happen because, yeah, but we believed it was important for our audience, you know, and the conversations we were having, I thought were kind of entertaining. You know, it was stuff that I would like to listen to. And that was always sort of the rule of thumb, that if we would like to hear it on the Rab Show team, then we're hopeful that you folk out there would like to hear it too. So that's kind of the rule of thumb of how we approach this. And yeah, we are absolutely an open book. We've always been honest with our audience out there. And if our show is rubbish or it's crap in any way, we absolutely want to hear from you. Please let us know about the episodes that you thought were rubbish. And then, yeah, we'll know not to go there again. Or if there's other episodes you thought were smashing and you would love to hear more of that kind of stuff, then absolutely. As I've said, we're an open book and we're the show for the piping folk. And yeah, thanks for calling us part of the furniture here. I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. But have I ever thought about pulling the plug? That's a very difficult question. There has been a few occasions where it has been very, very difficult to continue. And I don't need to tell everybody what those moments were. I'm sure you probably know. There were some very difficult times here on the Big Rab Show. And yeah, it was very difficult to keep that wheel turning. But we kept it turning because we love this music. And we love all you folks that tune in. I know as tacky as that might sound, but genuinely, we think we have a really valuable audience here. And we love everyone who manages to click on that download button and listen to us blather away about bands every week. We're just as nerdy about this music as you folk are, you know? And we love the people that's in it and the music that we make, the friendships. And if anything, we're all one big giant pipe band family. Yeah. And whenever new podcasts start and when they spring up and like, hey, we're starting a new pipe band podcast. Absolutely. We absolutely love it. You know, we've championed many different podcasts here on the show before. Some have came and went over the years. Yes, we understand that. And yeah, podcasting isn't easy. I know that old cliche, you know, and podcasting's wild difficult. Hey, you know, and here I am blathering away in my garage. But yeah, there are times when it is incredibly difficult. And perhaps that's when others decide, you know, yeah, we're going to pull the plug. We're going to step away from this nonsense because it's hard. It's work sometimes. And, you know, to those podcasts that are by the wayside, we absolutely miss them. We do think the more voices we have in the piping world, the better. The more people talking about this music, absolutely, the better. Giving more platforms to our incredibly talented musicians out there who should receive more recognition for their work, in my opinion. So that's what we're trying to do here in the Rab Show. We're trying to promote the scene, provide a platform for these musicians to absolutely melt people's faces with all sorts of amazing music. And, you know, we're going to continue that. But we also think that the more shows, the more outlets, the more, yeah, promotion of the music and its people, it's all the better for it, you know? So it's weird. Whenever new podcasts spring up, they immediately say, oh, Rab, you've got competition there. Oh, no, what's going to happen? I don't know where that comes from. But we're not in competition. We're all supporting each other. You know, like Gary West's podcast, for example, Enjoy Your Piping. I'm a massive fan of his show. I absolutely love it. I tune in every time it uploads. It's just amazing. And also, let's talk about the Drum Score podcast. Come on. Those guys are incredible. I've been really enjoying their show too. And let's talk about what Jim and that are doing over there at the dojo. Come on. Have you listened to him and Andrew talking about rhythm recently? That podcast was fascinating. If anything, I've listened to it a few times now. Yeah, really clever. Good stuff. A lot of, well, if anything, I say clever because I've written a lot of notes here after listening to that this last one. Very good. But also the Droning On podcast as well. That's another cracker, you know, with some of those long-form conversations. Some of those are brilliant too. And so, yeah, podcasts that we do desperately miss, of course. The irreverent Chanter Rant. We do miss the rant, guys. Don't know where they are now. I think Fusco's possibly still piping. I think Josh is piping somewhere too. No idea. I haven't really heard from either of them since they've disappeared from the podcast world, so no idea what's happening in the rant. But yeah, please bring back the Chanter Rant. And also, the Grace Note Vortex, or the Up to the Line Pipe Band Podcast, or even the premier Pipe Band Podcast, the Pod Band Pipecast. Did I say that right? No, probably not.
Stuff the Rab got wrong.
But do you know what? In my opinion, the more podcasts there are out there, the better. So, no, I don't believe that, we would ever view ourselves being in competition with any other podcast out there, because we absolutely want to help support the scene. And the more voices in that scene, the better, in my opinion. So that's a very long answer to quite a personal weekly drone. Have I ever thought of pulling the plug? The answer is yeah. A few times where it was very challenging, but we've kept that wheel turning. And we're still here. Episode 475. And I haven't even reached this week's news and updates yet. But there you go, folks. I have to say, we wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for you folk out there clicking that download button. So for want of sounding really soppy, thank you. We would not be this far in this podcasting journey without you. Our weekly donors calls us part of the furniture, and that is flattering, I guess. But we don't for 1 second take it for granted that we are part of the furniture. No, absolutely not. We're constantly trying to up our game and get better. I'm very aware that there's podcasts out there that are so slick and way better than us, and we absolutely are in that process of always getting better. Yeah, same as you guys out in there in pipe band world. You're always trying to improve your performance. Well, so are we here in the Big Rab Show. The show for the piping folk. We're doing our best to reflect what you guys want to hear. Yeah. All right. That's it for Weekly Drone. If you do want to send in your own Weekly Drone, of course, you can do. Go to our website, thebigrabshow.com, and that big button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone, and you can let us know your thoughts and feelings, warts and all, and we'll do our best to react to them in real time, unscripted, as always happens, here on the Big Rab Show. There you go. All right. Well, I think at this point, I've set my pen down. It's time for me to go and get myself a little break, but I'll be right back after all of this. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's Interactive Player.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk.
Yes, indeed. Time for the news and updates. And yeah, I'm going to lead out the gate with an announcement that dropped on the 13th of February, one of which had a lot of people talking. And this is an act being added to the list for the Kids with Cancer charity night. Yeah, I'm sure you've probably seen this from Gary, and he was talking about a new addition to the bill. Now, not only are we going to see Police Scotland Fife on stage, we also have Liam Beckett joining as well for football fans, and a wealth of other great soloists and drum majors aplenty. But this new addition had everyone talking. Now, after almost 25 years of not being in existence, I guess, they're now making a return. Well, who am I talking about? I'm talking about the pipes and drums of the Royal Ulster Constabulary GC. Yeah. Now, I believe this is a one-off. Yeah, you're one-off of one-offs, I guess, because they have never played together since they disbanded all that time ago. Now, that drum corps back then from the RUC Pipe Band were just iconic. So, yeah, to see them returning again, reforming, and potentially playing a few tunes, I don't know how many precisely, but yeah, this is exciting. So for anyone who's already got tickets for the Kids with Cancer Night, 20th of March in the Royal Hotel in Cookstown, well, yeah, there you go. That's how these things happen. You bought your ticket expecting to see Police Scotland Fife and everybody else, but now you're getting bonuses added into the mix. As the event is getting closer, more and more is being added to the bill. So, yeah, if you haven't got tickets for it yet, my advice is go now and grab them. Contact Gary Smith because tickets for this are fast disappearing at this point. I don't think there's many tables left at this point. So, yeah, what a huge announcement, you know? And I honestly think that has been over 25 years. I think Gary conservatively said it possibly under 25 years, but I think it has been more than that since we've seen the RUC Pipe Band playing tunes together. So a lot of those musicians are still out there. You know, come on, like the likes of Gary Corkin and that, he's lead tipper of the mighty Tully Lagan, you know. And other musicians in that corps at that time have went and played and are continuing to play today. So, yeah, this one-off performance will be really special. So if you want to go and catch it, go and grab your tickets. There you are. It's shaping up to be quite a special night, that. Yeah, you are. Yeah. 28th of March in the Royal Hotel in Cookstown, raising some much-needed money for a very deserved charity. But, yeah, it'll be all sorts of great piping and drumming that night. I'm looking forward to it. Also, I want to talk about another announcement that dropped on the 13th of February by the Piping Live Festival. Yeah. They put out a huge announcement about their Emerging Talent Program. Yes, that's back again for 2026. Yeah. Now, bands such as Rora, Ali Lavac, Falascare, and others have took advantage of this in the past, and look where they are now. Yeah. So if you want to be a part of their Emerging Talent Program and showcase at one of the biggest piping festivals in the world, well, now's your opportunity. They are open for applications right now. And, yeah, who knows? You could be stepping out at Piping Live. So last year's Emerging Talent stage seen bands such as Ruval, the Ali Williams Band, who I caught as well. They were really good, by the way. And the Meallan Band is just absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, the Emerging Talent stage has provided a platform for some incredible musicians over the years and can absolutely launch a career. So if you are wanting to take up that challenge and step out on that stage and thump out some big tunes at Piping Live, well, now's your opportunity. So go along, National Piping Centre's website or even pipinglive.co.uk for full details on how to get your applications in. And who knows, you might be stepping out on centre stage at Piping Live in 2026. Best of luck. Okay, well, it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention it, but this weekend sees the RSPBA Pacific Rim Solo Drumming Championship competition. Yes, this one's going to be quite exciting. It's going to be held in Vancouver, of course, and the draw, the order of play and everything has been made available. You can go and check it out. Yeah. So in the hornpipe jig, there's 12 competitors in total, and for the compound march, it's 9 competitors in total. So a little bit of a smaller field there, but yeah, best of luck to everyone competing. Now I'm going to read through the list briefly. #list of all the competitors that are available. You can go and check it out yourself. It's been published on BC Pipers Association socials. Let me see. I'll read through the list of 12 here for the hornpipe jig. We have Kyle Wardle, Amanda Cowell, Stephen McWhirter's making the trip across. There you go. We have Samuel Lindsay, Eric McNeil, Robert Graham Jr., Malcolm Fuller, Eli Fugit, Megan Miller, Jake Mix, Alec Robertson, there you go, and Cameron Lawson. There you are. So quite a list there. And if anything, it's good to see a number of people travelling quite a distance to attend this competition. Well, I suppose Stephen McWhirter catching a flight, I guess, and others. So, yeah, this pre-Worlds qualification spot does count for a lot. And as you can see, a lot of those drummers are very keen to compete at that level and get that pre-qualification spot. It's important. Yeah. So for the full details, of course, on the competition itself, you can go along to the BC Pipers website where everything has been published there all about the Pacific Rim competition. So best of luck to everyone this weekend. Have a good tune. As for any sort of social media coverage from the event, don't know is the short answer. A lot of people have been asking, will there be a live stream and all of that from it? No idea. There's been nothing yet confirmed. But once it is confirmed, then absolutely we'll put it out on our socials so you guys will be kept up to date with what's going on there at the Pacific Rim competition. Best of luck, everyone. Have a good tune. Okay, this week I have to give a special mention to the Livingston Collection. Not sure if your folks will be aware of this, but piper and composer Jim Livingston from the Birches area here in County Armagh has just launched a brand new Facebook page all about his collection of music. Now, Jim has been composing for a long time, and a lot of his tunes have been picked up by some of the best in the game. And, well, he has now launched the Livingston Collection, available on Facebook for those you Facebookers. So, there's already a couple of tunes already been released out there for free. I think the first one is dedicated to Miss Rachel Lowry, of course, and the second one is the Ulster Scots Tartan Dander. And I've been told that there will be others in the mix as well. So, if you are anyways curious to find out the tunes in the Jim Livingston Collection, well, go and have a look at that. The Livingston Collection on Facebook, on socials. Yeah, I have been an absolute fan of Jim's music for a long time. And, quite excited to see them now being released on social media like this, putting these tunes in the hands of musicians, and that's exactly what it's all about. So, go and check that out, the Livingston Collection on social media. Okay, I'm going to briefly mention and give them a big shout-out this week, the Pipe Band Museum. Yes, for those of you out there who know, the Pipe Band Museum is an amazing collection of all sorts of pipe band paraphernalia from back in the day, even through to the modern day. And, you should really go and check it out if you can. Well, their social media page has just put out a brand new feature that they're working on. Yes, they're calling it the Pipe Band Museum Hall of Fame. Yes. Now, apparently, this is open to everyone in the bagpiping world, from pipers to drummers, drum majors to Highland dancers. And, it's a chance to talk about the person and all of that. Submissions are open right now. And, you can submit who you believe should be in the Hall of Fame. And there's already been quite a number of posts already for people who've taken advantage of this and said, hey, I believe this person should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And, photographs and their story has been shared online, and these have been really fascinating to read. So, shout out to the Pipe Band Museum. Such an interesting feature. And, it's been brilliant catching all of these and reading them as they come. It's just been really, really cool. So, cool new feature from the Pipe Band Museum, and who knows who we'll see in the Hall of Fame in the future. But, there's been some real interesting names and worthy people added to that Hall of Fame, I have to say. So, go and check it out. And if you do want to send in your own submissions, of course, again, you can contact them on their socials, the Pipe Band Museum on social media. Okay, I have been told about an upcoming fundraiser for Texo D-Side Caledonia Pipe Band. Had to do a bit of digging to find this one, but this is a Ceilidh fundraiser. It's happening on the 7th of March, and it'll run from 7:30 in the evening until the wee hours in Ashdale Hall in West Hill. For anyone who does want to attend, well, contact any member of Texo D-Side Caledonia Pipe Band in Aberdeen, and they'll get you sorted out with tickets. Now, tickets are £15, but from what I've been told, you'll be treated to some blistering entertainment on the night. Of course, from their own Callum Brown, they'll be providing all sorts of great Ceilidh music into the wee hours. There'll be a bar available as well, and all sorts of shenanigans there with the folks there at Texo D-Side Caledonia. So, if you do want to go and help a bit of fundraising there for the mighty D-Side, go and check it out. 7th of March and their Ceilidh fundraiser. That sounds like fun. Okay, I'm going to very briefly mention this, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen the footage by now. But the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo has, went on a bit of a tour. And recently, they're down under in Brisbane. Now, we did mention this, of course, in previous Rab shows where they were going to be making appearances and doing special shows down there in Australia. And, let's say the piping and drumming element there done us proud. It was fantastic. Well done to everyone involved, and everything that I've managed to see, even the behind-the-scenes stuff, where you would expect it to be, kind of rough when people are tuning up and stuff, but no, it's far from it. It's absolutely brilliant. So full credit to everyone there involved in the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo Down Under. I think it was a roaring success. Well done, everyone. There's tons of photographs and videos all across socials. You can go and check that out. I think there's YouTube videos and that plenty as well. Really high quality stuff. So, Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo definitely thumped out a big tune and impressed audiences all across. So yeah, just well done, everyone involved. That was fantastic. Right, time for another fundraising / recruitment event, I guess, that's happening in Los Angeles, of all places. Yeah. Did you see this? From the City of Angels pipe band? Yeah, they're going to be throwing a huge event in Griffith Park in Los Angeles on March 21st. It's entitled Pipes in the Park, and it will be a showcase of all things Scottish bagpiping and drumming. Yeah, so if you are anyways curious about piping and drumming, and yeah, this will be for you. So it runs from 8 a.m. all the way through. So yeah, there will be a solo competition element to this as well. So yeah, if you are a solo piper or drummer, then yeah, you have a competition to be at there, Pipes in the Park. But then for others who wants to play in a band setting, well, then you're encouraged to play together and thump out some tunes and impress an audience there in the center of Los Angeles. Fantastic. 21st of March, and for full details on everything that's happening there in Pipes in the Park, do check out City of Angels Pipe Band's website or their socials for full details. There you are. Well, on last week's podcast, we did mention that the RSPBA were working on a brand new website, and we weren't sure when the new site would be launched. Well, yeah, the new site has been launched. That's the story. You can go and check it out. The full website is now up there, and yeah, a lot of people have had some thoughts on it. Some people love it, some people not so much, because, well, it is change, and change is always difficult to adjust to, I guess. You know, the new layout of the site, and people can't find things and all the rest. Ended up clicking around all over the place to try and find stuff. I don't know. I find the site kind of pretty well navigable, if that is even a word. You know, I can navigate around it and find what I'm looking for. I think it's pretty good. So, but that's just my opinion. You can disagree, of course. But the new website is available now, rspba.org. Go and have a look at it. Tons of information on there, including a shop, which is really cool. One of the things that we think the site was missing for a while. Thankfully, they introduced that at the tail end of last year. And you can go and get yourself some RSPBA branded swag. That's pretty cool. Plus, they also have advertising on the site now as well, where a lot of different businesses and that have advertised with them. You know, the likes of March of 5, of course. And then ourselves, the Rab Show. Yeah, we've got an ad up there too. Why not? So, yeah, you can go and check it out, and their associated sponsors and all of that. Go and have a look at it. The new site's quite impressive, and I would like to know your thoughts on it, folks. What is your opinion on the new RSPBA website? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I absolutely love it. I think it's great. You know, it's totally refreshed. It looks great. Anyway, so there you go. Go and check it out. New website from RSPBA. That's the story. Moving on to another news story then. Well, the Las Vegas Celtic Festival and Highland Games. To give it its full title, they've put out the announcement saying that tickets are now available for their upcoming games, which are happening on April the 18th and 19th. Yes, this is in Craig Ranch Regional Park. And, this year's event looks fantastic. Whenever you look at the website and everything, they've got a full lineup of all sorts of great music and entertainment, food, drink, heavy athletic competitions as well. Yeah, this looks like a great event, to be fair. So you can get VIP passes as well for this. Now, this is something we don't do for our competitions here. Normally, you just have general admission and they let you in through the gate. But yeah, this game's in Vegas takes it a step further. They offer you a one-day VIP pass. Now, granted, it's $140, right? Yeah, it's quite pricey. But what you get for your money is really quite cool. Yeah, so I'm going to read from the site here. It says, this VIP pass is for one person for Saturday or Sunday, and this includes entry into the games for one day and an open bar featuring beer and cocktails for 21s and over, obviously. So you'll have shaded seating at dining tables. You'll have snacks and food catered. What? Yeah. You'll also have a perfect view of the main stage, and VIPs will also receive a complimentary games t-shirt. What? Why don't we do this here? I don't know. I think it would sell out pretty quickly if they did do that. Imagine if you had that for the Worlds. Imagine like an open bar and you were given all your food and drink and a free shirt. Come on. Now, not only that, for those who have children and they would like to enjoy the VIP area as a family, well, you can just simply add on your kids to the ticket price and, your kids will get access as well. There you go. So, I don't know, for full details, go along to the Las Vegas Celtic Society's website and their ticket information is all up there now for the upcoming Vegas games. But yeah, that VIP had me really interested, you know? And then there's also options then to buy tickets for whiskey tasting. Yeah, apparently at the competition they have whiskey tastings available. There's one for Scotch whiskey and one for Irish whiskey. Yeah, you could do some serious damage at this. Imagine getting a VIP pass with an open bar and then getting tickets for whiskey tasting as well. Yikes. There you go. So if you are a drinker, then you're going to love that. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's going to be competing at the Las Vegas Games. And I'm very interested to see who is going to be in the lineup there. Don't think we've seen a draw or anything like that for the contest yet, but I'll be keeping a keen eye on that. But yeah, best of luck, everyone. 18th and 19th of April in Craig Ranch Regional Park there in Vegas for the Las Vegas Highland Games. That sounds exciting. Okay, sticking with stories in the United States for now, I have to give a shout out to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who have just put out their huge United States and Canada tour. Yeah, have you seen this? Dates aplenty. I think there's no town or city at this point that the Red Hot Chili Peppers have not played in the United States. Seriously, I think they've been everywhere over there. So, yeah, if you are living in the US and you've never seen the Chili's, then what are you doing? Well, they're going to be there from, tomorrow, February 19th, all the way through to the 4th of April. So, dates aplenty, folks. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are one of the hardest working bands in the game, I would reckon. So, yeah, definitely worth checking them out. And recordings of the Chili's is one thing, but seeing them live is an entirely different experience. So if you haven't seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers live, that's my recommendation. Go check them out live. It's completely different from listening to them on a CD. There you are. Go and check out the Chili's. All those dates are available. There's way too many to mention. Honestly, it's a seriously big hashtag list. But yeah, shout out to the Red Hot Chili Peppers heading across to the United States and Canada with dates all across for the next few months, I guess. There you are. Busy. Okay, I'm going to briefly mention the 78th Fraser Highlanders. They've put out an announcement on their socials saying that they're going to be holding an open band practice. This will be held on April 25th at the Lions Club Community Centre there in Milton, Ontario. Anyone who's interested in attending, well, it's free. It's open. Just dandering through the door. Plus, you'll also have refreshments served on the day. And all sorts of blistering good tunes as well from the 70th Fraser Highlanders. So why not? If you're in the area and you fancy going to that, it's available. There you go. And it's free. That's the best way. Absolutely. So an open practice held by the 70th Fraser Highlanders. That's exciting, that. Yeah. I wonder, there's not enough bands holding open practices. That's what I wanted to say. But in my opinion, I think all band practices are open. I think if you were to walk through the door of a band hall, you wouldn't exactly get chased out, would you? You wouldn't get out of here. No, I don't think that would happen. But anyway, it's interesting. This one is advertised as an open practice. So there you are. Shout out to the 70th. All right. I also want to give a shout out to Altneve Memorial. Yes, they're celebrating 80 years in the business. Yeah. Now, we mentioned this once briefly before when we had our Meet the Band series when they were telling us that they were going to be celebrating 80 years in 2026. Well, here's the first part of it, I guess. They're holding a huge variety concert on the 21st of March in the Canal Court Hotel in Newry. Tickets are available now, although they are limited. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very popular night, this. So 21st of March, go and grab your tickets and go and support Altneve Memorial, celebrating 80 years in the business. Yeah, all proceeds on the night will go towards cancer research and the Macmillan nurses and Marie Curie as well. There you are. For full details, of course, you can contact any member of the band. They'll get you sorted out with tickets. But yeah, get that date in your diary, folks. 21st of March, Altneve Memorial, 80th celebration. Wow. Okay, just when we're on the topic of 80th anniversaries, another band that's celebrating another 80th anniversary is Money Gore Pipe Band. Yes, they're throwing a huge concert on the 28th of February. This one's in Rathryland Young Farmers Hall. Doors open at 7:30. Yeah, and it will also include, well, not only the main act themselves, Money Gore Pipe Band will be there, but also Kilkeel Silver Band and the Pride of Balnaran, and others will be there on stage on the night as well. Tickets are £15 and available from any member of Money Gore Pipe Band. So if you would like to help support and celebrate 80 years of Money Gore Pipe Band, there's your opportunity. Yeah, so go and grab your tickets now. They're available from any member of the band. And yeah, that's going to be a great night of music there too. 28th of February in Rathryland Young Farmers Hall. That's going to be a good crack, that. Okay, I'm going to mention a couple of things that are Big Rab Show related that we've been working on, and we kind of need your help. Okay, first one I'm going to mention is, well, on social media a couple of weeks ago, we put out a post asking people to provide us with any details or information on Brian Boru bands. Yeah, what we're trying to do is produce a list of all available and still operational Brian Boru pipe bands. Yeah. Now, we're also interested in, well, detailing the players, the manufacturers, if any of them are still in operation. And, yeah, to say that the reaction online and the amount of people who are involved in the Brian Boru scene is incredible. Now, this was a scene that I know a bit about. I can't say that I'm very knowledgeable about it, but I know a bit. I know quite a number of musicians that do play in these bands, and I'm quite friendly with them and talk to them on the regular. And a lot of these bands do get invited to places and play in some big stages in some cases. And in my opinion, I don't believe the Brian Boru bands get half of what they deserve. You know, it is a very different tone. I'm going to say that, you know. And for us Highland Pipers, you know, who are involved in competition, and our pitch just seems to rise every year, well, the Brian Borus have kind of remained true as to where they are and their standard tuning, and it's really interesting music to listen to, especially when you look at their chanters and how intricate they can be with all of those additional keys and things, and the abilities to play different sharps and flats and ranges that we can only dream of as Highland Pipers. It's a very interesting world, and yeah, we've been wanting to learn a lot more. Well, the outpouring of comments and emails and all of that came through since that post went live, it's been crazy. So what we're finding is that the Brian Boru scene is definitely still alive and well. And if anything, so is the manufacturers of the instrument. What we've been finding is that a lot of manufacturers are kind of made to order. That I don't think there are any kind of producers out there of Brian Boru pipes that have a huge stock of them. Let's say that. There's not a huge, massive pile of them sitting on a shelf somewhere and you can just go and lift a pair. No, you have to go and order them, and they would be made specifically for you. So, yeah, it's quite an artisan thing as well. Very detailed work with all of those keys and stuff on the chanter. It's absolutely fascinating. So I've been learning a lot about the Brian Boru scene, and I want to learn more. And this is one of the things that we do in Rab Show. We're honest. When we don't know about stuff, we tell you. And yeah, I am old enough to remember when the Brian Boru pipe bands had their own competitive grade in competitions here in Northern Ireland. I specifically remember competing in Enniskillen one year, the County Fermanagh Championships. I was playing in grade 2 at the time, and we had grade 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Brian Boru. So they were their own separate entity, their own circle. They had their own judges. And, I remember that arena being absolutely packed. Once we were finished competing our medley that day, I remember, taking the drum off and then running over to the arena. I wanted to hear the Brian Boru bands. So most of all of the competitive guys in our grade, in grade 2, were all standing around the Brian Boru arena. We loved it. And, yeah, at that time, I couldn't get enough of them. And unfortunately, that was, late 80s, early 90s. And then since then, I haven't seen many Brian Borus in existence, apart from those that you periodically catch on parade somewhere or at an event, and they just spring up and you're like, whoa, where did they come from? So, yeah, very long story short, but that's my experience with the Brian Boru world. And my question to you folk listening right now if you know anything about the Brian Bruce scene, if you're involved in any of the bands out there, or maybe you know someone who plays a set of these pipes, then please do reach out to us. We want to learn a lot more about the Brian Bruce scene and its heritage and the wealth of music that can be played on these pipes that just simply can't be played on Highland pipes. Yeah, so we want to learn more. That's the crux of it. So please email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. If you know anything more about the Brian Bruce scene, we are researching all of this and doing our best to put as much of our research together into one cohesive, publication, I guess, or will we make it into a future podcast? Don't know. If anyone from that scene is willing to talk to us, then hey, absolutely. Would love to bring that to a future show. There you are. So just going to float that out there. That's one of the things I want you to help us with, our research on the Brian Bruce scene. There you are. All right, another one that I wanted to mention just before we get into the topic. Well, this week's topic is Meet the Band. And yes, I'm going to throw the door open again. If you do want to be a part of our Meet the Band series, well, we are taking bookings right now. And we do have a number of shows throughout the year where we do have some potential spots for a Meet the Band story. So if you believe your band's story would be an entertaining one, or even if it just hasn't been told before, or regardless of the grade or geographical location, then we absolutely want to hear from you. Our email address, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Drop us in a message and let us know if you want to be part of our Meet the Band series. Please put it in the title of your email, Meet the Band. And then, we'll line up a future conversation with you and bring your story to a future podcast. There you are. So be a part of Meet the Band, and who knows when you might see the light of day over here in the pod. You never know. Alrighty. Well, with that all being said, I think it's about time. It's time for me to go and get myself a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Gilly Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also shipping worldwide. So stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify, every movement protected.
This is Project Smoke, and you're listening to the Big Rab Show.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
So the title of this week's episode kind of gives it away. This week, we're meeting the McLassie Highlanders. Now, did I get that title right?
You did. McLassie Highlanders.
McLassie Highlanders. I think everyone's calling you the McLassies, though. They miss out the Highlanders bit. Yeah. So would you like to introduce yourselves then? Who have we got joining us on the call?
So I'm Brittany. Last name is Wright. And then we've got...
I'm Carol Smith.
How you doing?
And we're both bagpipers here in Ontario.
I see. So commiserations. Yeah, you're a part of this piping world. Yeah, like it or not. There you go. Yeah, well, I want to talk about the band. Now, this is an exclusively female band based with all sorts of like women pipers and drummers from all across the scene. Can you tell us, how did things start with the McLassies? How did it all begin?
So Carol and I, it was Kingsville Highland Games, so one of the Highland Games on the Ontario circuit in 2024. We were waiting around to do, I think it was our Pibroch solos. We both compete in the same grade. Mm-hmm. And so we were standing talking, and Kingsville at the time did quartet contests. And all of a sudden, the conversation turned to, we should figure out an all-female quartet and try and get into this quartet contest with all females. So that's actually kind of how it all started, was an early morning Pibroch contest.
See, and then just an idea out of the ether then. Yeah. If anything, I love the motto or the tagline for the McLassies, and I wanted to ask you about this and whether it was there from the very beginning. Inspire, empower. And that's something that we're seeing a lot on your social media posts. Is that a real focus of the band from the very start?
Yes. Yeah. So when we started as our quartet, we came up with kind of a mission statement as to what we wanted to do with this. And then we also had our tagline that we wanted to introduce in our social media. And that's always been a focus. We recognize that women and females and girls, it's underrepresented in the world of bagpiping. So we wanted to see how we could try to encourage and change that, if even just in a small amount. So by being present as an all-female group, showing that, we're having fun, we're out in the community, that hopefully that then can inspire and empower some young girls and or women to join and hopefully learn this great art that we're all passionate about.
Absolutely. Well, I hate to say it, but it has been inspirational already. I know you haven't been in existence for very long, but it has definitely blazed a trail. And if anything, it's kind of starting a bit of a trend. I'm noticing a good number of these bands starting up. Just recently, we spoke to the Rose and Thistle pipe band. They have a very similar sort of focus as well. It's very exciting, all of this. Are you finding that yourselves? Are people actively discovering you and going, oh, I want to play with you guys?
Yeah, we are. We're finding, people are engaging with us on social media, saying they follow us. They've been inspired by what we're putting out there, coming up to us at the games. We had the buttons that we were giving out, and there were all kinds of people asking for a button. And it was male and female pipers just wanted to help spread the word about what we were doing and that positivity. So it's been great.
And I think, too, what's been really exciting to see is a lot of young female pipers, like 12 and under, that we get messages either from their parents or at the game saying they can't wait to join the McLassies when they're a little older. So I think that's really exciting to see as well. It's just how it's having an effect, and a really positive effect on the younger pipers.
Oh, for sure. Well, for those of you who are savvy enough, you might have seen Rab Show live at Piping Live, and I was wearing my little McLassies button that I received from you. So thank you for that, Carl. But yeah,
we did notice that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I got tons of questions from people who go, Rab, what's that? And then I had to explain it to them. Go and check them out. Great band. The merchandise is a real talking point. The logo and everything. Who does your graphic design work? Because it's brilliant.
So one of our pipers, Chelsea, she has a friend that is in that world of graphic designing. So we kind of came up with the theme that we wanted it to be McLassie Highlanders and piping oriented, but also show that it's Scotland and Canada put together. And so we went through a couple drafts, and so the holes that are on the bottom of the logo represent the holes on the front of a chanter. And then on the L, it's the drone chord. That's our L. And then you've got at the very top, it's the thistle, but with a Canadian leaf on the top. So it's a really cute way of incorporating everything together.
Oh, for sure. And even I want to start buying more McLassie's swag, by the way. So folks, if you haven't checked it out yet, and I'm sure right now, if you're listening to the pod, you can click on the links in the show notes and stuff. Go and check out all the amazing merch. But you did mention about inspiring a younger generation. It's brilliant to hear that a lot of young girls and women are contacting you folks. So would tuition be something that you would offer?
So right now we don't offer tuition as part of the McLassies. However, with that being said, there are a lot of instructors in the McLassies. Right. So we can then set people up with instructors from the McLassies, or depending where they are geographically, we then can provide the resources for instructors out their way to get them involved and get them engaged.
I see, yeah. So you mentioned geographically then, does it pull from a large area? Where would all of your players come from?
Yeah, so we are Southern Ontario, which is quite large. So we've got, as far as Windsor, so from where we're speaking to you right now is Oakville. It's a few hours to get to Windsor, and then we've got some that are in Toronto or up in Guelph, down in the Niagara region. So we kind of come from a pretty vast difference in terms of where we are geographically. So it does pull. We meet every other Monday to account for that. But yeah, geographically we're quite large, and because there's not a ton of females, it's hard to get us all involved. So Yeah.
It's quite an exclusive bunch then, is what you're saying. Yeah.
It's slowly growing. We started with 4 and we're now up to 13. So we're slowly growing.
Yeah, so if anything, I seen you guys were at the Guelph Highland Games there not too long ago. The Scottish Festival there. Tell us about that experience. The full uniform and everything. The band looked amazing.
Yeah, it was really exciting. And we, so technically we're just pipers right now. But what we do is when we do events, we reach out to drummers and we try and see who would like to come out and join in with the McLassies for the day of fun. And we're never short people volunteering. So that was a really exciting event because I think it was our first real outing as a group where we played material that we have kind of put together for our group. So it was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable to be out there and showing what we can do. So that was
it was like our first performance outside of doing quartet competition. So just being there, being able to showcase, because not all our players want to be competitive. They just want to go out and enjoy playing. So we have both those opportunities. We can compete in quartets and put in a few quartets at events, or we can just be out in the community. We're doing a couple of events as well, like the Women in Policing.
Yes, there's an owl banquet for Ontario Women in Law Enforcement coming up in May. It's a big banquet where they do all their awards. So the McLassies are going to be marching in the honor guard and doing something small with that as well. So that's pretty exciting. So we try to get out in the community, but the Guelph one was our first major non-quartet based event.
You are. That's exciting though to see it growing, and that's what I'm hearing here. So running forward then, plenty of other events in the future, I think, for sure. But how has the community reaction been now that you've been out and around playing at quartets and now this event in Guelph? How have you found the reaction from, the crowd?
I think it's been really supportive. Overall, really supportive. I think a lot of people understand that we're just really trying to get out to be a visual reminder and then to inspire recruitment, which I think everyone's focus is. It doesn't matter where you are in the world of bagpiping, everyone's focus is on recruitment. And I know like the Pipers and Pipe Band Society here in Ontario, they've got a major focus on recruitment and specifically as well, how do we get women and younger girls involved? So I think it's just been really exciting to see how we've been welcomed and that, everyone's really supportive of where we're going with this and that it's just a fun group to be in. So,
and people always ask, like when we go to our own band practice, like outside of McLassie, because we're with other competitive bands, people in our bands always ask, how are the McLassies? Where are they playing next? And you'll show up at band practice and someone in the band is wearing a McLassie shirt. And it's just really cool to see.
That's cool. And one of the features on your social media actually is like spotting McLassie merch in the wild. Go, there's one. And then you all get photographs with them. It's just, that's so much fun. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, the bagpiping world sort of thrives on nosiness. And I think that comes in too. They're like, what are they up to over there? So I think that's very much a part of it. Yeah. But I have to ask a kind of a challenging question, though. And I know we're trying to develop and see more women get involved in piping and drumming, but what do you believe is one of the biggest challenges in such a male-dominated world? What is one of the biggest challenges for bands like the McLassies?
I think a big challenge is it's hard to, I think if you're a younger girl, I think it's hard to envision yourself doing something if you don't see others that are like you. I think so being present and being out in the community for them to see, I think all of a sudden just sparks that little bit of interest of, hey, I could do that too. I think that's important because seeing others is what inspires others, right? I think that's a big portion of it. So
that's what I was going to say, like having the visibility, if they can do it, I can do it, is definitely a challenge. And we were talking about some of the young players that have come up to us at the Highland Games. My own daughter is 15, and she's a piper. And so, seeing this whole group of female pipers, is inspiring for her as well. Like if they can do it, then I can come out and play. And, we had other moms come up to us and say, my daughter is in solos and it was great to see you guys competing because now she feels like she can do it too. So I think the visibility is a big thing.
Being seen. Absolutely. It's vitally important. I agree. And if anything, the collectives like the Maquette Collective are very vitally important, bringing that conversation to the piping scene and are drawing a lot of attention to that. And again, the visibility. And come on, we need to talk about Ali the Piper, you know, who's now an absolute rock star. But again, another inspirational figure who's attracting more people to the piping world. So if anything, as we say here in Northern Ireland, more power to your elbow. Yeah, best of luck to you, encouraging more people into the scene. Now, I do have a few band-specific questions that I want to get into. First of all, I was trawling through your social media and there was a little recording of you guys playing a Slow Air by Ross Ainsley, Lullaby for Mel. Oh my word. Where did this idea come from? But your rendition of it was amazing.
It's beautiful. That's all you.
Is, yeah. So I actually heard it just listening on Spotify, and I was like, this is such a beautiful tune, like just one that you can sit and close your eyes to and just drift away. And I was like, this is so beautiful. And we just decided that we wanted to play that. So we managed to write out some music and write our own harmonies. And that's been we actually played that at the Scottish Festival of Guelph. That's one of our showpieces that we all love. And it's one that gets stuck in your head for days.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I've been whistling it now for a couple of weeks. Thank you. But yeah, it's so, I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you about was the harmony lines. You know, I think there's a 3-part harmony in there. I haven't heard that before. I think it's a 3-part.
I think for ours we just have 2, but maybe it's just so impactful. It sounds like
maybe
3.
That's it, yeah, but I don't know. I've listened to it so many times now. I'm thinking I'm picking out 3 lines. Maybe there isn't. But I think at this point we'll maybe play a little clip of it, let people hear what exactly I'm talking about. There you go. And that's bound to be fun to play, isn't it, though?
I think what we try to do with our selections of pieces is we try to pick things that may not be typically in a competition band.
Ah, yeah.
And I think that's really fun because you can pick different tunes that really kind of sparks a new joy in piping again. And I think that's part of it as well, as finding, not that being in a competition band isn't joyful, it is. And the family that comes along with that is so special. But it's different to be able to be in this group and not have it competition based and just pick things that also bring us all joy that are different.
There you go. You're not absolutely restricted to MSR for the 15th time that week. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you with that. Yeah. Now, I have to ask about Beasley. Who is Beasley? Tell me about Beasley.
Well, Beasley's our new little mascot, and so she's our little ginger lab. And so she loves to come to band practice. She loves to be around bagpipes. So she's my puppy. So we'll be piping, and then she'll be in the same room, and you stop in between sets, and she's just lying there snoring, like she's not even fazed by it. So Beasley is our little McLassie mascot.
It's so cute. Oh, wee Beasley. It's just lovely. Most dogs, whenever they hear pipes, would normally go running or start howling or barking. So Beasley's quite chilled out about it then. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. She's been around it all her life. So
there you go. Excellent. So I also need to ask then, who's responsible for the massive spreads of food at your band practice? That doesn't happen by accident. These are massive.
Yeah, that's mostly me. We feel like band practice needs to have snacks.
It does. I agree with that. Yeah.
You're exerting energy. It also, food really brings people together, right? And so you can sit, have the conversations, have the food. We're doing a little bit of playing. No, we're doing a bit of playing. So yeah, we we always like to have snacks.
There you go. I love that. And then you can have the argument about pineapple on pizza. You know?
Oh, right.
Well, I think
brings
majority of
everybody
us are
together.
pineapple people. We would love it.
No. Oh, you
As long as
savages.
the pizza is gluten-free, vegan,
Oh yeah.
yeah, then you can put pineapple on it.
There you go. Nice. Well, folks, I have to say full credit to you. We're so excited to see what the future holds for the McLassies. And I think that line, inspire, empower, I think will go a long way with inspiring and empowering a whole new generation of female bagpipers and drummers as well. So if you do have any points of contact, if anyone's interested in joining the McLassies, where can they reach out?
So probably the best place is through our Instagram. So you can find our Instagram and send a message through there. We're usually the ones checking it, so you'll get through to us.
There you go.
And then we'd love to have people come out and see what we do.
Superb. There you are. And plus you can drop us a message here in the Big Rab Show and we'll put you in contact for sure. There you go. Well, thank you both for joining us on the show. I really appreciate your time. And if anything, keep us posted on any future gigs because we'll definitely want to check it out for sure. Thank you very much for chatting
thank you for having us. It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
And thanks for your support. That's great.
Of course. Here, I'm wearing this pin with pride. Yeah, love it.
I love it.
Love it. Thank you.
There you are. Fantastic. And shout out to the McLassies. More than excited to see them this incoming season. What an amazing venture. Yeah. So, well, folks, that's pretty much it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Another topic of the week is in the can, and we have met another pipe band. Yeah. Now, as we said at the start of the show, if you do want to be a part of our Meet the Band series, then please do email us in. bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. And we'll get your name on the list and we'll meet up with you. Have a bit of a chat over Zoom and we can finally meet your band and bring your story to a future show. Yeah. All right, folks. That's it for a pod. I am out the door. As always, don't forget to tell your mates about our wee show, about what we're doing over here. And also do keep your eyes over there on our Patreon, where we do have some juicy extras dropping over the next few weeks. That's all I'm going to say. Don't forget to check out the Big Rab Show for your Rab Show merch. And of course, our weekly drone feature, all of that stuff. And we'll see you throughout the rest of the week, of course, until next week when we're back again with even more bagpipe and goodness. Until then, folks, all the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show podcast. All the best.